Hello friends, I'm Tom Downey, joined now by Mitchell Renz here on our NFL Mailbag. First up, where will Ryan Tannehill end up from JM? Let's just break this one down. I got one idea here, but we both think it's not going to be Miami.
Yeah, I think I've seen the Ryan Tannehill experiment in Miami for just long enough, and let's be honest.
A lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it was a waste of money. Maybe he should have stayed as a tight end, Tom. I don't know about you, but personally for me,
Throw it to Tannehill remains a great game plan.
I personally think that Ryan Tannehill is going to end up with the Cincinnati Bengals.
It does require, I think, Andy Dalton being shipped out via trade or cut, but the logical tie is already there. New Bengals head coach Zach Taylor coached him while he was in Miami for, frankly, one of his better seasons.
Yeah,
some of his better seasons.
And also he's got ties with him even before he came to the NFL. So I think Ryan Tannehill going to the Bengals makes sense in that regard. But I mean, you're a Bengals guy. I would rather have Andy Dalton than Ryan Tannehill.
What if I told you there's no difference? They are two sides of the same coin.
I mean, their hair color is a lot different.
Okay, I guess that's fair because Andy Dalton's hair is super red. But
the red rifle.
But it's just the most lateral move ever. I think to go to Dalton from Dalton to Tannehill.
No, and I couldn't agree more. And I almost wonder why you would just kind of go average. And I mean, the last 4 seasons from Ryan Tannehill. Now, again, we don't have his rushing numbers up there, and he's a pretty athletic quarterback. But if you're looking for mediocrity, man, sign him up.
There you go.
That's what the Bengals are going for, I guess.
All right, folks. All these questions come to from our subscribers on Chat Sports. Here's some of the new ones, Mitch. We've got Rob and Rob. There's 2 Robs on there. Sean, Daryl Prochet, and I'm going to butcher this first name here because I think you can pronounce it 2 different ways. And so how do you say it?
Sufakai.
Okay, that's what I kind of think because there's there's another angle of that. You slow it down, so we'll go with your sped up version there. All right, next up from DCMMA, should the Dolphins try to get Teddy Bridgewater right off the Ryan Tannehill discussion? I could kind of see it making some sense, and from Bridgewater's perspective, he's from Miami originally too. So I think that's kind of a logical landing spot, at least from Bridgewater's stand.
Sure, and I mean, I think the Dolphins are going to tank, and I mean, there's already been some rumors around the Dolphins wanting to tank for Tua, or potentially I think they should tank for Trevor. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a talented quarterback, but from what I've seen, since that devastating leg injury, he's not quite the same.
I'm still pro Teddy.
I understand you're pro
Teddy. So send him somewhere he can be more of a long-term option.
Well, if you want to sleep with Teddy Bridgewater, then...
It's not what I'm saying at all.
Well, no, I'm saying pro Teddy. I'm a pro Teddy Bear guy.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. I get it.
I don't know.
Not the route I thought you were going.
Personally, though, I think that they should just tank, get a quarterback in 2020, have 2020 vision. I don't know if Teddy Bridgewater...
But they do need a stopgap somewhere, though.
Sure.
Joe Flacco.
Well, let's just run the... What was the offense they used to run with, what's his name? The Wildcat.
Yeah. With
Ronnie Brown.
Yeah,
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
All right, next up from Dalen Atwood. Will the Eagles end up franchise tagging Nick Foles and trade him to Jacksonville for a 3rd-round pick? We both agree that the Eagles are going to try and trade Nick Foles. That's the general report out there. And if they do trade him, I think Jacksonville is the perfect fit.
Oh, I think I've actually already put money down on BetDSI that
Me too.
I think Nick Foles is going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, sure, there's other teams out there, let's say like the Redskins, like the Broncos that have ties. Heck, I've even heard the Dolphins. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think, are the closest team to being ready. I mean, they're a quarterback away. I mean, they were in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. They should have beat the Patriots, and now they were 5-11 because guess what? Blake Bortles, not very good. And I think you insert Nick Foles there, but he also has ties with John DeFilippo, which I think is a lot of people are not talking about near enough.
So would you guys trade a 3rd-round pick for Nick Foles, type A for yes, type B for no? I know some, mostly Eagles fans, thought we could get a 1st-round pick or a 2nd-round pick, and I was always of the mindset, no, you're not.
I understand he's
got him for 1 year.
He's the top quarterback, I think, in this free agent class when he decides to come out. I don't think he's going to. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a 1st-round pick. Heck, I've seen people project that he's going to get 2 1st-round picks from Nick Foles,
which is insane.
That's ludicrous.
I think in general the NFL is not as high on Nick Foles as some are.
Yep. Because
I don't think they value that playoff run anywhere near as much.
I don't think they should. So for me personally, though, I mean, 3rd-round pick for a quarterback. If you think he's a franchise guy, absolutely. If you don't, maybe not.
More trades coming up here, but first, today's show brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code LIVE120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Mitch, you're not going to find a better deal out there, my man.
Not going to find a better deal out there. Just hit us up on Twitter @ChatSports. If you like to bet on the NFL, if you like free money, anyone in an NFL jersey, you're welcome. And also, little cherry on top here, if you use Bitcoin, you're going to get 150% deposit bonus. If you don't know what Bitcoin is, Google. It's pretty cool. Or you can just hit Tom and I up on IG or Twitter, and we're going to walk you through the process.
All right, as promised, more trade questions here. This one from Connor Peters. Can the Packers acquire Antonio Brown? Can they? Of course. Will they is what you really mean, and maybe. We know that Pittsburgh, of course, is open to trading away Antonio Brown. I think they would, in general, if the offers are the same, would much rather prefer an NFC team versus an AFC team. Packers do have 2 first-round picks. They could make a very strong offer. Here's my question overall as we get further and further along into the Antonio Brown drama.
Yep.
Who wants him right now? Because every time his name gets put on Twitter as like a headline, it's bad.
It's not good.
It's something hurting his trade value.
Yeah, but sure. But then there's also the aspect that he's going to be 31 years old. You're going to have to pay him a lot of money, but he is still an absolutely elite receiver. And teaser there, we're going to have a video coming out tomorrow on Antonio Brown, his ranking. So I won't give away where I personally think about that. But Antonio Brown to the Packers might be a little cheesy, but hey, who doesn't like cheese, you know?
I see what you did there. I'll make note here of the Packers' overall wide receiver depth chart as they sit. Devontae Adams, of course, is immensely talented. They do have at least one potential open spot. Randall Cobb's going to be a free agent, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling, EQ St. Brown, Jalen Moore, Geronimo Allison, who's an RFA. They have bodies and options at wide receiver.
Plenty of bodies.
No one near at the level, though, of an Antonio Brown. I don't think Cobb will be back. I think maybe they try to go with Devontae Adams, and let's hope somebody else emerges soon. They don't go for Antonio Brown.
I think Geronimo is a pretty talented wide receiver, but again, Antonio Brown, Devontae Adams, that would be really pretty with him.
That's fun
with Aaron Rodgers.
All right, next up from Flipper88, chances of Le'Veon Bell to the Houston Texans, and we've kind of discussed this at times before. I think it does make some sense. They have the cap space available. They can easily cut Lamar Miller and free up even more cap space.
They should cut Lamar Miller.
Thank you. And Bell has been very clear that he wants to get paid. So as long as Houston comes up with a good offer, I think that they make sense there. The question is, does Houston want to?
Yeah, I broke down the top teams for Le'Veon Bell about a week ago in a video, and I think Le'Veon Bell to Houston does make sense. Like, he wants to win games, and I think the Texans, I mean, they did just win the AFC South. So they're in win-now mode, and I think when you add Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Le'Veon Bell, that's really fun. But again, the one thing and the only thing that matters to Le'Veon Bell, you don't really think he cares about winning. It's the green. And like, that's it. If they can figure out how to put some money together, sure.
So again, Lamar Miller right now is that #1 back for Houston. Deonta Foreman is supposed to be the #2, but he was banged up pretty much all year long.
Coming
off that Achilles injury there. So that's where they sit. So what team will sign Bell in free agency? Let us know in the comment section. I'll stick with my initial prediction. I quite like the Jets as a landing spot for him.
Damn it, Tom. You're not supposed to agree with me. I went with the Jets, too. They're my #1 team. They got a lot of money, and they're green.
Great minds. There you go. All right, next up from Dylan Whaling. Who is the most overrated draft prospect this year?
I already know where you're going.
You know where I'm going. Excuse me while I go on my rant here. The answer is very simple to me. It's Daniel Jones. Got great size, played under David Cutcliffe, and that's kind of where I stopped the overarching, very clear-cut positives. That Duke offense was incredibly simple. It was a one-read, get the ball out quickly, run RPOs offense. It's not a multi-progression read type of thing there. Yeah, his mechanics are fine, and I think he's going to do very well on the whiteboard, and he'll impress coaches. But his arm is not special. The accuracy isn't even all that good. He and the Duke offense literally could not complete deep balls whatsoever, in part because of ineffectiveness and in part because the receivers were not very good. So it's not all Daniel Jones' fault. He's a day 3 pick to me. He's not a round 1 prospect.
Yeah, I love when these kind of like prospects get you this fired up, because then I'm going to watch, and then when I saw what he did at the Senior Bowl, I was like, all right, Tom, I think you're right. If I had to say one of my most overrated prospects, I'm going to go about it from more of a fantasy standpoint.
Okay.
It's Damian Harris, and I think when people look at what he did at Alabama, he puts up great numbers. But I don't think he's the best running back from Alabama coming out in this year's draft. And to be honest, he's not even one of my top 5 running backs. And I see people have him as like the #1, #2 running back because of what he did at Alabama. But breaking news, Alabama running backs, when they come to the NFL, it's a lot different not running behind that offensive line. So
I did forget one more positive. He is a good athlete as well.
Oh, he's a good athlete. Oh, Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones. If he was 6'2" and went to Wake, we wouldn't be talking about him as a round 1 pick. Instead, because he's 6'5" plus and went to Duke, and under David Cutcliffe, we're like, oh, he could be good. Not buying it. Who do you guys think is the most overrated NFL draft prospect? If you are a fan of Daniel Jones, I guess I'm sorry, but I'm not wrong. So, I mean, There we go.
Throw in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Honestly, Tom could just talk about how much he dislikes Daniel Jones. Probably not going to get a Christmas card from the Jones family.
It's okay. Hey, you know how much I didn't like Josh Allen this year?
Hey.
Give me Josh Allen every single time over Daniel Jones, as prospects only, regardless of what they did this year. Allen has way higher upside.
I don't disagree, but I know how much you did not like Josh Allen.
Daniel Jones, worst prospect. All right, no more hate. 7-11, how do you like Drew Lock so far? Is it a good idea for the Broncos to draft him at number 10? Well, we've gotten to the point where everyone is reporting that Denver likes Drew Lock, which I almost wonder, like, could it just be a smokescreen? Because if everyone says it, then, like, maybe it is.
So I look at Drew Lock, and I've seen people compare him to Derek Carr, and I've seen other comparisons, and he's got good numbers throughout college, and I think he's a good prospect. But I don't know if there's a single quarterback that I would actually really want to take in the top 10 in this year's draft. He's just getting boosted up because there's nobody else there. And do I think the Broncos need a quarterback? Yeah. Case Keenum, 18 touchdowns, 15 interceptions last year. Not very good. Do I think Drew Lock's the answer? No, I do not.
I'm a little bit higher on Drew Lock.
Okay.
I think than maybe even most people are, because I saw progression this year, especially as the year went on. He became more accurate. I do like his arm as well. In a bubble, he's absolutely not worth a top 10 pick.
Yep.
He also might be the third quarterback at that point. Potentially, even though I think he probably ends up being more like number 2 quarterback at that point. There are mechanic and accuracy issues, namely with his footwork, but
Kyler Murray or Drew Lock?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, top 10.
No quarterback is worth a top 10 pick. None of them are going to be top 10 on my board. But for Drew Lock, if you believe you can fix his footwork and maximize his ability, there is really good quarterback upside. Now, I don't know if Denver is the right team to get that out of him. Although I do like their new OC, Rich Scangarello from the 49ers.
Fair enough. All
right, so should the Broncos draft Drew Lock in the top 10? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Which way you leaning there? You're leaning no?
I'm going to say no.
That's fine. Like, I get it. If you're from a value perspective, no, but welcome to the NFL. Quarterbacks always go high. Richie Bondi, what receivers in this draft are day 2 guys? Like all of them. If you need a early round 2, late round 3 wide receiver, congratulations. This is your class. Here's just some of the guys in alphabetical order because I don't want you guys yelling at me. And I'm ignoring guys like N'Keal Harry and Marquise Brown and DK Metcalf and Kelvin Harmon, who I think are more potential late round 1 guys.
Yep.
J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, want to see how he runs. Big, lanky guy who can do some good things in the red zone. A.J. Brown, a big slot guy. Hakeem Butler's big and lanky, fine after the catch, but I don't think he's that fast. And there are also drop issues. On the flip side, Paris Campbell.
Dude can fly.
He can fly. Emmanuel Hall, he can fly as well. McCole Hardman, he can fly as well. He's fun. Some teams actually think about putting him at defensive back.
Really?
That's the type of caliber athlete that he is. Andy Isabella, ooh, he can fly as well. Dylan Mitchell was like the only good Oregon wide receiver. Riley Ridley, much like Hardman, wasn't used well in the Georgia offense, but Calvin's brother, he's a good receiver. And then one of my favorite guys, Deebo Samuel, who I think is more of a round 2 early type guy.
Who absolutely killed it at the Senior Bowl.
All right, so we just knocked down some NFL draft questions. So do you like the NFL draft? Type Y for yes or type N for no. If you're typing in Y for yes, well, make sure you've subscribed. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. We will have all kinds of NFL draft coverage for you guys from now until April. And, of course, we'll do our live NFL draft coverage.
And if you're typing N for no, I'm not really sure. And if you want to see Tom's big board, yeah, that's what's up. Go follow him at WhatGoingDowdy on Twitter. Yeah. Actually, no, in all honesty, the dude knows what he's talking about.
Hit me up with any NFL draft coverage questions you guys have on there. That's on Twitter
Show us your big board.
WhatGoingDowdy. Stop it. Kelmer Consigliera, I butchered that. I'm sorry. So Kelmer, let's just go with that one.
I think he is a Raiders fan, though.
Oh, he definitely is there. So will Demarcus Lawrence hit free agency and go to the Raiders after extending Zeke and giving Cooper an extension?
No.
I know the Raiders. I know the Raiders would love to bring in Demarcus Lawrence, and I get that. I think every NFL team would, which is exactly why the Cowboys aren't going to let him hit the open market. And as it relates to Zeke and Cooper, Lawrence is a bigger priority. Cooper's under contract next year. Zeke's under contract till 2020.
Okay.
And which is easier to replace? You know this. You've seen this exact discussion. Which is easier to replace? The defensive end, the wide receiver, or the running back?
All right. Someone needs to get me a drink. No, I get it. Like, hey, I think running back is actually one of the easier positions to replace in the NFL. But when I look at Demarcus Lawrence, he is by far the best free agent in this class, and you could argue he's the best pass rusher in the NFL. Now, don't get me wrong, Khalil Mack is up there, Von Miller's up there, but from a defensive end standpoint, it's Lawrence.
Hurries the last 2 years, Lawrence is third. Yeah. Behind Von Miller and Khalil Mack. So there you go.
This one stings, Raider Nation, I know.
All right, Andrew Bowen, do you think Atlanta needs the most help on the defensive line or in the secondary? Good question. I know the Falcons just cut Robert Alford. I think the answer, though, is defenseman, because maybe you want one more cornerback, but you're good at safety with the guys coming back from injury. Meanwhile, on the defensive line, you got a bunch of notable free agents. Terrell McClain, Grady Jarrett, both are free agents. That leaves you, I assume you're finding a way to bring back Grady Jarrett.
Yeah.
Dejan Sennett, okay, maybe that's one option. Steven Means, whatever, Derek Shelby, Bruce Irvin, they're both free agents. Vic Beasley might be cut. I think defensive line, that front four, is the bigger priority. It's a great class. I will not be surprised if Atlanta takes one early in round one.
I think they'll take one early, but I think maybe the Falcons' biggest objective this year to not get injured.
Yes, could not agree more. Folks, we are wearing Mizzen and Main shirts. Go check them out, comfortable.af. They're made right here in America, and you're not going to find a more comfortable shirt, dress or otherwise, than a Mizzen and Main one, so check them out today. Next question from HP Top Panthers. Landon Collins to Carolina. I love the idea of the fit, and I emphasize the idea there because in the end, the Giants aren't dumb. I think they're going to keep
Landon Collins.
Landon
Keep having Eli Manning back there.
Touche. Good point. Now, they're not dumb defensively, I guess. So a franchise tag feels likely here.
Yep.
That might be the minimum. I think an extension maybe might make more sense there. Carolina, though, is a logical fit for Landon Collins. He's an immensely talented player, 96 tackles last year. Now, maybe not even his best year, a defensive player of the year candidate in 2017. You look at what the Panthers have in terms of their depth chart as well, with where they're set up. Safety's a big need for them.
Yep.
Because their top guys are free agents. Eric Reed's a free agent. Mike Adams a free agent. Really more number 4 guy Colin Jones is a free agent. You're banking on Rashawn Golden having his breakout year. Didn't make much of an impact last season. So you bring in Collins, you're absolutely.
I mean, you're also going up against Drew Brees twice a year. You're going up against Matt Ryan and that offense twice a year. And guess what? You're going up against Bruce Arians and the Bucs twice a year.